Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a weekend. How you doing over there, Heidi?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. I always like the weekend program because I get a ton of stuff that I don't have room for during the week, and I go through and I try to sort only the very best, and I use that for the weekend program. So we got a lot of good stuff for our second scoop today. Like this. Gorillas are considered apes, not monkeys. Do you know why?
Why?
I had no clue. The way to distinguish between an ape and a monkey is apes do not have tails.
Oh.
So if it has a tail, it's a monkey, not an ape.
Oh.
So like a chimpanzee, people refer to them as monkeys, but they're apes because they don't have a tail.
Huh.
I've always called a chimpanzee a monkey. Because like I was, I thought it'd be cool to have a monkey. But apparently that's not a monkey. Monkeys have tails. Apes do not. Now you know the difference.
I do not want a chimpanzee.
You don't?
No, that's not the kind of monkey
What kind of monkey do you want?
I want a little monkey. I want like one of those spider monkeys.
Like a monkey you could put in your purse and stuff?
Yes.
Smuggle
and I could
it.
put little clothes on and
Smuggle it in places?
take him places. That's the kind of monkey I want.
I want a monkey that I can teach to go fetch the remote. That's what I'm
You
looking
could teach
for.
a little monkey to do that.
Because our dogs won't do that. All right, got some special things going on this weekend. We'll tell you all about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. Let's tell you about the whole darn weekend. Saturday, September the 17th is AKC Responsible Dog Ownership Day. It's also Batman Day, Big Whopper Liar Day. Happens to land in the middle of the political season. Imagine that. Boys and Girls Club Day for kids, Citizenship Day, Constitution Day, International Country Music Day, International Eat an Apple Day, International Coastal Cleanup Day, Locate an Old Friend Day, National Gymnastics Day, National Monte Cristo Day. Oh, those are so good. Have you ever had a Monte Cristo?
I have. I know how to make
those are
Monte Cristos.
delicious.
They're amazing.
National Seat Check Saturday, Puppy Mill Awareness Day, and Time's Up Day. Also VFW Ladies Auxiliary Day Saturday. Now let's look at Sunday. Air Force Birthday. Happy birthday up there. It is Chiropractor Founders Day. Hug Greeting Card Writer Day.
Okay.
Hallmark loves that. National Ceiling Fan Day, National Cheeseburger Day, National HIV and AIDS Aging Awareness Day, National Respect Day, Wife Appreciation Day, and World Water Monitoring Day on Sunday. I will appreciate you on Sunday.
Okay.
But only on Sunday. No, I'm just kidding. I always appreciate my wife. All of that fun stuff going on this weekend. Thanks for listening.
John and Heidi.
Email marketing is affordable and a proven way to grow your business if it's done right. You can stay in contact with your customers to let them know when you have new things to offer. You stay in control the whole time too. You decide when the messages are sent and you decide what is being said. So you're constantly in control of your business image. You can do this, but don't try it on your own. Team up with one of the biggest names in email marketing, Constant Contact. Sign up for a free trial right now at radiosavings.com. Sign up now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Dogs need a little roughage too and will apparently do anything to get it. A German woman thought that she had been robbed when she returned to find $700 missing from her car.
Why on earth did she have $700 in her car?
Her dog was in the car and seemed to be quite ill and started vomiting. That is when she discovered that her dog had eaten the cash, the $700. She informed police and took the dog to a vet. The vet gave the dog an injection. After 20 minutes, 6 of the missing bills magically reappeared. You don't want to know how.
Gross.
Yeah, the dog spit out the rest of the money in shreds along with some bank statements. The woman was able to trade the damaged bills for new ones at a bank.
Oh.
So that hopefully they disposed of them.
Well, I'm sure they did.
I don't
it's
know.
not like you tape them back together.
Oh, that is just yucky to even think about.
No, they get sent back to the Federal Reserve when they're damaged.
Well, this is in Germany, so do they have a Federal Reserve there as well?
It's Germany. Well, that's not $700 then, is it?
It says $700. It's got a dollar sign in front of it. Are they Deutschmarks? I don't know what they have in Germany.
I don't know. It's not dollars.
Euros? I have no clue. All I know is the dog was hungry and he ate money and bank statements. Can't imagine why the dog would have done that. Unless maybe she had him sitting on the table and, got some marinara sauce on him or something.
Wiener schnitzel or
I don't know.
something.
Our dogs will eat grass once in a while. Why is that?
I've heard that grass helps upset tummies, so dogs will eat it if
that
they're
what it
not
is?
feeling well.
I thought it was just because they thought somebody needs to mow this lawn.
Might as well be us.
All right. Anyway, this happened in Germany. This dog ate $700 and some bank statements. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain. And this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. Police charged a man with burglary and disorderly conduct after he allegedly wandered into his neighbor's home, stripped naked, and jumped in bed with a 6-year-old.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Man, 26 years old, was arrested last Sunday after a child in a house woke his parents to tell him there was a man sleeping in his bed. Officers arrived to find the residents screaming for help from a second-floor window. Officers said the man's clothes, which smelled of alcohol, had been dropped at the floor. They said the man admitted drinking at a New Haven club, but denied that he was in the wrong house. So even the next day,
He was just super intoxicated.
no,
and
this is my house. This kid moved in my room apparently while I was gone. How do you deny that you were in the wrong house?
It was clearly still intoxicated.
Apparently.
It was confused.
I don't know. Coming up, we've got your moment of duh. This guy would have fit in that category too, but no, because this time it was what happens, kids, when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. This one comes from Holland with a story of a thief who had bad timing. We talked about a thief that had bad timing with the ATM. Remember that?
Yes.
They stole an ATM that hadn't
even been plugged in
yet. Brand new. It didn't have any money in it. Well, this one, he wanted to steal a satellite dish, but unfortunately for him, the dish that he chose was in use at the time by the homeowner who was watching a soccer game and was not very happy when, right before the goal, the TV went off. The sound of the homeowner cursing the TV sent the criminal scurrying, and he fell off the roof. Police are still looking for him, so I can only imagine. I remember, it's been a long time
Why would
since...
you steal that? I mean,
I don't know.
In order to get it to work, you got to call the company, and they're going to say, where'd you get...
Maybe he was going to
And
use
there's
it...
like a serial number on
But,
all of
maybe
those
he was going to
things.
sell it for scrap metal. Who knows? There's probably some value
There
other
must be
than...
something. I can't imagine what else you'd do with it.
No, I don't know. Or he's going to... I have no clue. All I know is that was our moment of duh from Holland. Coming up, your scoop of the day is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. A recent study shows that about 9% of North American population has no bank account. 9% of the Americans in North America don't have a bank account. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. I don't know how you can get by without a bank account.
I have an account that I don't use a whole lot, so maybe
Only
I
because
could.
there's no money in it. 'cause
Yeah, it's no. There's $1.16 in there right
Yeah.
now.
You were so excited the other day. He went through Chick-fil-A and he had enough money to pay for his sandwich. And he was just so happy.
I was like, I got $4.50 in there, and the lady's like, it's $3 and whatever. I was like, oh, hey, I can pay with my card. I don't use that account. And when I do it, they always just tell me, there's no money in this account. Americans are concerned about poor eating habits. In fact, according to speaking right after eating it anyway, according to a new Barna survey, nearly half of Americans are concerned that they eat too much. But not every generation is equally worried. In fact, the study found that millennials are twice as likely as elderly to express their concern about their diet and nutrition. So young people are more concerned about eating properly. Older people, not so much. Age is not the only striking demographic difference. Practicing Christians, it turns out, tend to be more concerned about their diet choices than other Americans. So if you're a Christian and you're young, you're more likely to eat better than older non-Christians. So there you go. That is very interesting. A recent study shows 3/4 of men and 2/3 of women in America are now obese or overweight. And that is an increase of more than 10% since the 1990s. Researchers at the Washington University School of Medicine study their information there on more than 15,000 men and women ages 25 and older. And the survey They estimated 67.6 million Americans were obese, and 65.2 of us are overweight. So there you go. You okay? You're yawning over there. Like
I'm very tired.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm sorry.
Do you want to?
I'm trying very hard. I didn't get enough coffee, and I don't know.
Well, it would seem logical for patients who've had a heart attack to cut back on fast food. Some devoted fast food eaters do, but 6 months later, more than half can still be found at their favorite fast food place at least once a week. This is according to a study from the American Journal of Cardiology. So far, all of the stories have been about health.
It's all been pretty depressing.
Let's see if this one helps. Wasim Akhtar this week becomes the mayor of a city that is home to about 25 million people, and he'll do the job from prison. The Pakistani port city
Are you kidding?
Karachi is a city of mayhem, of vendettas, and of street warfare, in no small part because of this guy's party, the party that he's a part of, which also operates a militant wing. Says here that he is 1 month into a long sentence for instigating citywide riots back in May, it looks like, and for other crimes. And he was elected from behind bars and will be serving as the mayor from prison.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That happened in Pakistan. German scientists say that an evil dark patch shows up on brain scans of criminals. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
Yeah. So there's an evil dark patch on your brain scan if you're a criminal. It's only a matter of time before they'll do the brain scan to see if you're going to be a bad person or a good person. So don't know if I like all of that. An Iowa State University study finds that wives have more powers over decisions at home than husbands do. You needed a study for that.
Yeah, I don't know why they needed to do a study.
Because some woman said we should do a study. And the guy was like, okay, we'll do a study. I don't know if that's how it goes everywhere, but that's pretty much how it goes here. We're married to each other. I could say that because it's true. And did you know that 7% of all potatoes grown in the U.S. turn into French fries? Not just any French fries. 7%
McDonald's
are turned
French
into
fries.
Mickey D's fries. There you go. So
I can't imagine a better fate if I were a potato. That's what I would want to be too.
Yeah, they're delicious. Coming up here in a bit, we're going to talk about more fun stuff in our second scoop that we do on the weekend edition of the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
When it comes to politics, quite often you have an opinion, especially for this election. How would you like a platform to let your opinion be heard? PoliticalStorm.com is that platform. It's a website with news from both sides, and you can chime in on any story, and you can add your own stories. You may even be invited to join me on my podcast for a chance to share your opinion, whether we agree or not. Sign up today at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice as well. PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, your second scoop. I love the weekends because I love doing the second scoop. I always have stuff I can't get to during the week, so I'm going to shut up now and dive right back in, so hopefully we can get through all of this. Like this. Did you know that 200 trillion text messages are received in America every single day?
That's a lot. 200
trillion text messages. That is more than a year's worth of regular mail that is received in America. 3,339. That's the average number of texts sent by American teens every month. Texting is the number 2 use of cell phones. What is the first use of cell phones, Heidi? Texting is number 2.
Going online.
No, using it as a replacement for a watch, checking the time.
Oh, yeah.
That is the number 1 use.
I suppose.
I do that all the time.
That too.
And I don't, look at this. I don't wear a watch anymore. Although I think I'm going to get a watch again. Because I think
bought
they
you
look
a beautiful watch. I don't know what you did with it.
I broke it, but I didn't mean to.
You broke it?
Yeah. Didn't mean to. Because I broke the wrist, the band, because my wrist hulked out and okay, it's more like it pudged out. Back to this though. Being a little less carnivorous that's the one, might help you stay slim. I'm not even going to try it again. Eating less meat might help you stay slim. Dr. Anne Claire Vergnog of the Imperial College of London, I'm sure I nailed that, said that her colleagues found that people who ate more meat gained more weight over 5 years than those who ate less meat, but the same amount of calories. When the researchers looked at different types of meat separately, they found that the strongest association with weight gain was with poultry, followed by processed meats and red meats, according to the study of thousands of Europeans.
Absolutely shocks me.
You were going to think it was beef, weren't you?
Yeah.
Because I like beef and I'm a big guy. But it's because of the amount of beef I eat.
No, but they always tell you if you're going on a diet, you need to eat
more
lean
chicken.
meats.
Yeah,
so it's chicken and turkey and...
Well, they say not so much, at least in Europe. I don't know. Maybe it's different. It's on the other side of the world. Everything's... It's like they have their own language there. Everything is different.
A different
there.
word for everything.
Yeah. What are these people up to? Hey, according to a study from the University of Texas at Austin, milk and a 100% whole grain cereal, which contains protein and carbohydrates, help rebuild damaged tissue as well or better than specialized sports drinks. So if you're seeing a player on the sidelines eating a bowl of Wheaties or eating a bowl of whatever kind of cereal, really, a wheat whole grain cereal, whatever that would be, that could actually be better than gobbling up the Gatorade, apparently. So it'd be kind of cool to see that. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I suppose.
The battery of the future could be made from paper. You'd be able to cut it into pieces, crunch it into a ball, roll it up into a tube or any other shape, and the power would all still be in there to power all of your electronic devices that are hitting the market at lightning speed. The battery consists of paper that's been infused with electrolyte substances and microscopic carbon nanotubes that those things together form electrodes. Current flows from one side of the paper to the other. Even more amazing, the paper battery also functions as a capacitor, a device that stores electricity, so you'd be able to charge it, wad it up and stick it in your pocket, and then stuff it into your cell phone whenever you need it, apparently. This is really fascinating stuff to me. Doesn't it sound like something out of like a comic book?
Yeah, it does. They're making paper batteries and paper helmets.
Yeah, we had a paper bicycle helmet the other day. That was pretty cool. Hey, according to a report sponsored by the Ulrich Children's Home in Chicago, teenagers feel that adults do a pretty good job at helping them with career counseling. They concede that adults are fun, but ultimately feel that they're lousy listeners. What was that? I wasn't really listening.
Okay.
So they're saying that, getting advice for what to do when you grow up, sometimes adults are okay at giving advice, but they don't think they listen very well, if I understood that correctly. In utero, babies aren't just relaxing, waiting for their real-world entrance. They're actually listening to you. Turns out that unborn babies can hear a lot more than we think they can. The fun starts about 30 weeks in, and the last 2 months is when babies can actually recognize mom's voice. How cool is that?
That's very cool.
And we're not quite done yet. A Nigerian man is being charged for breach of peace. This is absolutely hilarious. He named his dog after the country's president there in Nigeria, and then made it worse. He painted the Nigerian president's name on both sides of his dog and paraded him up and down a busy street, and then he was arrested and charged with breach of peace. That kind of stuff wouldn't happen in this country.
No.
Here, you could do that. So in Nigeria, that's apparently a bad thing.
Okay.
Here, they can put giant naked statues of a presidential candidate in different cities and call it art. And nobody got in trouble for that. I thought that was disgusting. And it doesn't matter who it was. I mean, you shouldn't do that to anybody, especially without that person's permission. They didn't have that person's permission. I thought that was wrong. Anyway, workplace deaths in the U.S. have dropped by nearly half over the past 2 decades. That's good news.
That is good news.
So in the last 20 years, people quit dying at work. They waited to get home to die, apparently. But I think that's good news, really is. And our final story, the U.S. Bank Stadium in Minnesota has been found to be 10 times as loud as other stadiums. When they built it, they didn't factor in all the people in there making noises, so there's a lot of surfaces for noise to bounce off of, and it's causing hearing problems for people who are going to the U.S. Bank Stadium in Minnesota.
Oh.
The answer
Yikes.
should have been, huh?
That's not good.
No, that's not. So 10 times as loud as other stadiums.
Yikes.
This has been your bonus scoop. Thanks for listening this weekend.
John and Heidi.
This is the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. When you join, you'll be giving them the set of numbers that you want them to play, and that's what they will play for you. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, go to RadioLottoPool.com and join today. Again, that's RadioLottoPool.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A day on Jupiter lasts about 10 hours. 9 hours and 50 minutes and 30 seconds at the equator, to be precise, and that is one full day on Jupiter. So every planet, days are different lengths. We talked about one that was like 60 days on Earth.
Yeah.
Fun fact for you.
What's that, John?
Speaking of outer space, Galileo, he was known for peering into the stars. Did you know that the most powerful telescope that he had was as strong as a pair of binoculars you could get today at like just a store?
No.
Nothing special. That's how powerful his telescope was. Not very. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Ping pong is a registered trademark of Parker Brothers.
I didn't know that.
A chameleon, even if it's blind, will still change colors to match his environment. That's really cool.
Oh, really?
On
You can
average,
feel the colors.
apparently, on average, a normal person's eye muscles move about 125,000 times in one day.
Yeah.
And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
When an ant wakes up in the morning, they stretch.
Really?
Yeah, uncles do too.
Oh, I'd like to.
No, I'm serious about the bug, the ant. Ants stretch when they wake up in the morning. That is really cool.
I'd like to see that.
I would too. Couple of fun facts for you this weekend.
John and Heidi.
Email marketing is affordable and a proven way to grow your business if it's done right. You can stay in contact with your customers to let them know when you have new things to offer. You stay in control the whole time too. You decide when the messages are sent and you decide what is being said. So you're constantly in control of your business image. You can do this, but don't try it on your own. Team up with one of the biggest names in email marketing, Constant Contact. Sign up for a free trial right now at radiosavings.com. Sign up now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. According to Good Housekeeping, a friend could cost you your job. Yeah. The magazine offers these tips for developing friendships in the office, so don't get burned.
In the office.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they're saying be careful to make
Yeah,
too many
oh, yeah.
wink, wink friends in the office. Take it slow. Choose your friends at work carefully. No matter how well you get along at first, let the friendship develop at its own pace. Don't rush things. Don't share secrets too soon. Next, be strategic about what you reveal. While many of us solve our personal problems by talking it out with others, don't do this at work. If you gripe too much about the stress in your life, the boss might think that you're just not able to handle things, and you could be the first to go. Next, know your territory. Every office has a personality. It may be happy and open, could be quiet and private. If it's the latter, do your best to keep your personal life quiet and private as well. If it's happy and open, it's still not appropriate to gossip about other employees and their lives. So even though it's happy and open, don't say, hey, Linda, that lady's nuts. Oh, she's back from... Never mind. Linda's back. Let's quit talking about her. Learn how to handle conflict. When problems arise between you and another employee, address them immediately, but do it in a non-confrontational way using specific examples. Let me give you an example. Heidi, when you yawn during my newscast... Sometimes I take that personally, and I feel as though you don't really care to be here. How does that make you feel?
I don't want to be here on the weekends. So if you'd like to fire me from the weekend shift, I'd be perfectly fine with that.
The John and Heidi Show on the weekends, just the John Show. And finally, accept an expiration date. This is the sad reality. Office friendships expire. When one or both people move on to new employment, the friendship is likely to last less than 2 years after you no longer work together. So if it's somebody that you were friends with when you worked together and you no longer work together,
Yeah, I get it. I
chances
understand
are
what you're saying.
probably not going to hang out as much.
Yeah.
So we hang out a lot. We work together. We live together. We sleep together. We drive together. We're married to each other together. So, but if all that ends,
24/7.
probably won't be your friend after 2 years.
If all that ends, we probably won't be friends at all.
That ain't going to end. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Charlie Brown is in the news. We'll tell you about him in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Let's talk business. If you're in business, you need a website. Come on, it's 2016. Do you really think the internet thing is not going to catch on? Many business owners that don't have a website think it's just too expensive. Well, now it's not. You can actually build a website setup for less than $30 a month. If you need help designing it or just laying something out, we're here to help you. Get a free trial right now at radiosavings.com. You can actually build the site and see it online for free during this trial. So why not check it out at radiosavings.com.
Got a fun story right here, and the guy's name is Charlie Brown, and he's got a boat that he recently built called the Veracruz. He built a 106-foot-long dream vessel, but he's facing his toughest challenge yet, getting it into the water. He's built the biggest bug-eye schooner ever built, but it may find its first journey From the Nevada desert to San Francisco, it's most difficult. The veteran shipbuilder picked a shipyard in the northern Nevada desert for a 45-ton schooner because it was cheaper than building it in the coastal yard. The sight of the sailing ship in the desert is already attracting visitors from as far away as Japan to the dusty yard near Carson City. But now they're trying to figure out, okay, we built this gigantic thing.
Now how do I get it there?
Charlie Brown, we got a problem. How are we going to get this into the water?
Oh, good grief.
106-foot long boat. That's kind of tough to... Good grief. I just caught that.
I was waiting.
See, I'm kind of sleeping over here. It's a weekend. I took the day off. No, that's funny. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully I'll be able to go sail and, have fun and stuff. Coming up, we've got more fun news on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Hey, here's a story I wanted to tell and I didn't have a place for over the last 2 or 3 weeks. This I've been holding because I wanted to talk about it, but I also wanted to make sure that I didn't talk about it when you were in a bad mood because I don't want to go down the wrong road on this. But a high school in South Carolina that barred students from bringing American flags to sporting events after they were allegedly used to taunt Hispanic students for another school has since reversed their decision. According to the article here, it says Travelers Rest High School principal Lou Lavley insisted that he has, quote, the utmost respect for our flag, end quote, but argued that using it to display unsportsmanlike behavior in itself is improper and disrespectful to our flag. However, he agreed to reverse his position following an uproar from members of the community. Officials stated that instead of restricting possession of the flag, the school administration should instead address the misuse of the flag or the inappropriate behavior on an individual basis, end quote. So what are your thoughts on this, Heidi?
I agree.
100%?
I agree 100%.
There you go.
And I agree with what he was saying, that just using the flag in that way is disrespecting the flag in itself.
There you go.
So I do agree with that.
Wow.
But I don't think he should have banned it from all the kids that weren't doing anything wrong.
Okay.
That's wrong.
He
needed
reversed
to punish.
He did. And he reversed his decision and said, okay, you can bring it, just don't taunt people and don't be mean with it because that is disrespectful. So
right. And if
all
you
right.
do that, then this is your penalty. So
cool. We agree. Yeah. Knuckles on that.
Crazy.
Boom. Coming up in a bit, we're going to talk about stress management. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
When it comes to politics, quite often you have an opinion, especially for this election. How would you like a platform to let your opinion be heard? PoliticalStorm.com is that platform. It's a website with news from both sides, and you can chime in on any story, and you can add your own stories. You may even be invited to join me on my podcast for a chance to share your opinion, whether we agree or not. Sign up today at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice as well. PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Hey, if you're having a rough day, here is a stress management technique recommended. See, I'm having a stressful day. This is a technique recommended in the latest psychological journal. The funny thing is that it really does work, and it will make you smile. You ready for this?
Sure.
Are you stressed out at all?
Always.
I need your undivided attention for a moment here.
I am always.
Pay attention to what I'm talking about.
Always stressed out.
Picture yourself lying on your belly on a warm rock that hangs out over a crystal clear stream. Can you almost picture this in your mind?
Sure.
Picture yourself with both of your hands dangling into the cool running water. Birds are sweetly singing in the cool mountain air. Huh? You there so far?
Sure.
Nobody knows your secret place. You, Heidi, come on. You are in total seclusion from that hectic place that you call the world. The soothing sounds of gentle waterfall nearby fills the air with a cascade of serenity. And the water is so crystal clear you can easily make out the face of the person you're holding underwater. See where it went there?
I see where you went there. I like that.
I figured you'd like that. That was actually sent to me by a friend. It's called stress management. I don't consider that a good idea, by the way. So if you're having a stressful day, don't hold somebody underwater. Even if they are the one that's causing the stress, don't do that. That's clearly a bad idea and very much just a joke here. We were kidding around. So all the rest of it was pretty nice, though. I was kind of getting relaxed hanging out there on that rock by the waterfall. Coming up, we've got some good news, and this is a really nice story. I absolutely love it. Maybe one of my favorite stories for like the last 2 or 3 months. So that is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap up this program with good news, and I think this is some really good news. This is such a really cool story. It's from about a week ago. A 14-year-old from Louisville, Kentucky, has been moving thousands of people on social media after a photograph of him giving away his shoes to a homeless man has gone viral. Have you seen this online?
If it's the same picture that I have seen, then I've seen it, but who knows if we're talking about the same one.
It's probably the same one. The act of kindness took place on Labor Day. So it was on Labor Day. So I guess that's even a little over a week ago, when the teen went out to do some homeless outreach with a local nonprofit group focused on, quote, teaching our community how to uplift one another, end quote. While he was out with this group, he saw a homeless man who had holes in his shoes. The teen, with this man's permission, took off his shoes and gave them away. And he said, I'll trade you shoes. I'll take those in here. Mine are nice. I can get new ones.
That's really neat.
I thought that was so cool. He gave this homeless man his shoes, and, he's literally going to walk a mile in this man's shoes.
Yeah,
and I just thought that was such a cool thing. And there's a link to the story if you want to read all about it at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And I just think that is a wonderful thing. And there are organizations out there like this organization that he was a part of where they were out in the community doing what they can to help. If you have the opportunity to get involved in something like that, I certainly encourage you to do that. We've been involved in things where it's helping our community. It absolutely
we
love
love
that.
those things. Yeah.
Our church had a really cool thing based on the book Acts 2 in the Bible, and it was called Acts 2 Our Community. And it was all about giving back and then, logging the hours. And the concept was we were going to try as a church to give over 100,000 hours of community service. And that meant so much to me when we were doing that, because I really think that's a cool thing. It's a great way to give back to your community. So anyway, that's a neat thing. And again, there's a link on our Facebook page. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.